Hey, it's time for Faith and Finance. This guy, he does well academically.
Yeah.
About to begin teaching a new class in Bowling Green State University. Of course, I'm talking about Drew Blazsik. Good morning, Drew.
Never got a score on a test below 80.
Yeah, right, yeah.
Hey, good morning. How's it
Good
going?
morning. Great, how are you?
Oh, man, missed last week, so this is great.
We missed you, but good to have you back.
Yeah, so, I got some interesting numbers here, which I thought was kind of, I was doing a bunch of research last night about new homes that, I would kind of think about this, is if you purchase a home that someone used or has had,
right.
It's all market driven.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
If you purchase a house that a builder just built, it's market driven because they got to sell it what it's worth, right?
Yeah.
But if you want to buy land yourself and hire a builder to build it, so you're gonna do
Right.
that. That's material driven.
Right.
That's not market driven. It's whatever it costs. Now the land is market driven.
Right.
And that's it. So I looked at historically. Now I could be wrong in these numbers, but I looked at a lot of different statistics, and also I looked at AI, and it told me this too.
Yeah.
Was that historically it was a premium about 15% to build your own home.
Okay.
Now it's roughly the same price.
Really?
So a 3,200 square foot home. I ran all the numbers. I looked at Toledo. I looked at everywhere else. Now I could be totally off on this, but it's very difficult to get these stats exact. But it shows roughly the same price to build a home. We're not talking about an already built home, or buy a used home, which would tell you that the used homes would be market driven compared if you could buy a new home, but there is a cost to a new home because you got to wait, you got to hire the builder, and many people don't know how to do that process.
Right.
So as long as we get more land, easier permits, and we can get new homes built, the supply would go up, and I believe that would help that for the price to fall for the existing homes, right?
Interesting. I
Now,
remember-
not that we want equity to fall. I don't think we want it to grow anymore.
Yeah.
Just keep it consistent. Homes, because our kids are going to have a very difficult time.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, man, we're talking about a nice home, it's like a 3,000 square foot home, which is pretty big. You're talking about, like the average in the United States, well over $550,000.
Over $550,000.
Think about 10 years ago. If you had a $500,000 home, what kind of? We're talking about an average, pretty nice home, like a nice home.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but that's pretty expensive.
Yeah.
And you want to live in a nice neighborhood around a 2,000 square foot house. I mean, you're talking about $400,000.
Yeah, and here's the issue, and we've talked about this before. Yeah, average home price is $400,000 plus. If you're going to be in that 3,000 square foot home, $550,000 plus. What is the needed annual household income to afford that? And the average household income in the United States doesn't stack up to that.
No.
So now that means the average person cannot buy a house.
And one thing I don't want to get wrong, don't try to think that I'm saying that a new home is cheap. It's that the market for houses are way overpriced.
Yeah.
And lumber prices have skyrocketed. So you're talking about materials are pretty expensive. But I want you to think about that. If you're going to build a home, that's material driven. Now that's market driven for the materials, but it's not housing. That's just totally.
So that used to have a average cost plus 15%, and now that's
that's what as much research I could find back in the day is a 15% premium, but it's very hard to compare house to house, that kind of stuff. But that's what I gathered. Now,
do you remember when log homes were real big? You could get the kit and you could build it kind of yourself or hire a contractor to assemble this log home.
I did not know that.
And I wonder if those will make a comeback.
Remember, my kids had those log things.
Remember, Sears used to sell kit for all kinds of different houses. They would deliver everything.
I had a friend that put up a 2,600 square foot log home.
Yeah. So that's and I'm sure those opportunities are still there, but labor costs are what labor costs are now. That's still expensive. Yeah.
So I thought that's kind of an interesting stat there. And then also want to talk about is chapter 11 in my book is talking about, so we talk about usury. The whole premise of my book is that Pope Innocent IV said that if it was ever allowed, all evils would pursue from it. It's saying that you would just unleash evil. So I try to almost like talk about that and prove that statement he made. And war finance. So there's 3 ways the government could fund war. Taxation, which the king or president have to come to you and say, we need $5,000 through debt, which can be paid off within 30 years. Or the most dangerous one is inflation. You don't see it. They're not going to tax you. Prices rise and you're paying it through inflation and higher. You just don't see it. And here's the problem with that is that we base everything on a price. Is the cost worth the benefit? If we're going to go to war, is it worth 20 trillion? Or if you make up a crazy number, no, it's not worth destroying everything you have to go to war, right? Now, let's go to the catechism. What are the 4 things you have to go to war? Number 1, just cause.
Right.
Number 2, last resort. Number 3, probability of success. If you can't win it, if you don't think you can win it, you can't. That's not just. Proportionality, which means that if you commit greater evils than the evil you say you're trying to go against, that's not just. So if you say something happened and then you, let's say, nuke every village, that's not a just. That's kind of an exaggeration, not just. Now here's the problem: is that let's look at the Iraq War. The Iraq War, they promised... Not
the Iran War, so you're going backward. I mean, you're going back in time a bit. Yeah.
So in 2003, we invaded Iraq. The administration said, I got it in my book, I don't have it pulled up here, but I believe it was $50 to $80 billion they're saying it's going to cost to go to war. They say it's going to be easy. As we know, it dragged on. It went into Bush's administration, really dragged his numbers down. But Brown University did a study. And we don't see it because they're not taxing us for that war. They're taxing it through inflation. This is the danger. If you're going to go buy something and it costs me something, I'm going to say, is it worth it?
Right.
But if I never see that and it's something hanging over my head, but I don't see it, you may not see the cost. Prices are so important. Well, Brown University compared the Iraq War and the Syrian War, which are kind of connected because we kind of got involved in both. For 2050, it's going to go out for all the soldiers that have issues, pay their VA. We're talking about $2.8 trillion.
Wow.
So the $50 to $80 billion estimate became $2.8 trillion.
So the original, when they're trying to say, hey, they broke these UN resolutions, and now we have a lot more information. Was it? I'm not arguing either way there. Now, I don't like that war at all.
Where the weapons of mass destruction, all that good stuff.
He wasn't a threat. If you look at just war theory, he was not a threat to us one bit.
Right.
And the Pope warned against it.
Right.
And we all remember that. And I remember I was more of a conservative war hawk kind of person back then. Like, you get the trading cards. Remember that? It's kind of disgusting to think about it. We're all like excited about going to war.
Yeah.
And I was young in the first Gulf War, and then you got the second. But 2.8 trillion. So we can't even measure that. That comes out to be, if I did the math correct, per household, around $25,000 per household. Wow. So and can you imagine if the president had to come and say, let's do this Iraq war. We don't know if he has weapons. Now, we know that some information was hidden, right?
Right.
And we don't know if we have it. But it's going to cost you $25,000. You have to make a plan to pay that back.
Right.
You could never have that war.
Right.
And the kings back in the day, you could not have a war that wasn't just or helps out the citizens because you have a revolt. Everybody revolting against it.
You had what was in your treasury. That's it.
Now you don't need that support.
Right.
You need it somewhat, but you can do it through inflation. And that's we see, I don't know if you guys have gone to the grocery store lately, how expensive it is.
No, Eileen reminded me yesterday, you don't go to the grocery store. And she's right. She goes to the grocery store.
Now we do click lists, I guess. But it's outrageous. But we're paying for not just war, but all the decisions the government decided to go into debt. That wasn't really a correct thing to do, I would argue.
Right.
And we have to pay for it. So you always have to get through that, but we just don't see it. And that's why that makes it very unjust, because we can't even see the cost of it.
Yeah, that's hidden cost.
Yeah, and the just war theory, which has been a strong, consistent teaching of the church, under a lot of attack right now, and saying maybe it doesn't still apply.
If we read further into it, you cannot argue it. Most of the wars we get involved with isn't just according to the Catholic Church teaching.
Yeah. Something else. Thank you, Drew. Appreciate you, sir.
Yeah, appreciate that. Can't wait for the book to come out.
Yeah.
Dave, you had a good suggestion on a finance book. Maybe you should skip chapter 11 and chapter 13, right?
Unless they're about bankruptcy. If they're about bankruptcy, then it makes sense.
That's right, yeah.
But, nicely done.
Drew Blazsik, wonderfully done, as always, sir. Thank you.